Welcome back to another news video. For our main news stories, we're covering the exciting release of the Team Fortress software development kit, as well as an impressive showing of a multiplayer online dungeon adventure game called Fellowship, and Embracer's latest success with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. All of this followed by the bonus round of smaller news stories. All news articles sourced for this video will be linked down in the description below. Like, sub, do all the YouTube stuff. Let's get into it. After roughly 20 years, Valve has released the official Team Fortress 2 software development kit. The tools are now in your hands to create anything you can think of. Not only can you build new maps, game modes, or new experiences, but you can build a completely new game using TF2 assets. The keys to the TF2 modding garden of creativity are now available to the public. All of the Source SDK client and server game code is accessible, so this goes beyond just making small tweaks to the game, allowing for complete conversions. Creators are also granted a non-commercial license, allowing mods made with the SDK to be published on Steam for free. Valve only asks that mod makers avoid making mods that have the purpose of trying to profit off workshop contributors' work. I'm guessing this is in reference to mostly the existing custom hats and weapons in the game. This comes at a time when Team Fortress 2 servers are overrun by bots, making the game somewhat unplayable. A part of me does wonder if this is Valve's way of answering to fans that have been begging Valve to save TF2 from this bot problem. Maybe Valve is passing on that responsibility to the community to help fix the issue of bots. Either way, this is good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing how Team Fortress 2 transforms in the coming future. So what do you think? Are you going to give these tools a shot? Maybe try and experiment, be creative, and make something of your own? Let me know in the comments down below. So, MMOs, right? Big, giant worlds, hundreds of players running around, spending hours to level up and get better loot. Sometimes it can be a bit much. Well, there's a new game being worked on called Fellowship that's doing things a little differently. They're kind of dialing back the MM in MMORPG. Could this be the beginning of the ORPG subgenre of games? The developers have coined their own term, labeling it a multiplayer online dungeon adventure, a MODA, not to be confused with MOBA. IGN got to spend time playing the game and describe it as the following. It's no nonsense, endlessly scaling dungeon runs in a 4-player team of a tank, a healer, and 2 damage heroes from among a selection of unique classes. In a group you make yourself, or with a team from a handy group finder, you jump in with your chosen role in either short and sweet one-boss adventures or longer multi-boss dungeons, letting you tune your gameplay time depending on whether you've got 10 minutes or an hour to kill. At the end, you pick up your loot, tweak your talents, kick up the difficulty, and go again. They also describe the typical dungeon diving tasks most MMO players are familiar with. Room clearing to get to a boss, watching your tank's threat and aggro management, tracking enemy abilities and making sure to interrupt the bad ones, and utilizing your class abilities in a good rotation. And with each uptick in difficulty, the bosses introduce more challenging mechanics to learn and conquer. This does seem like an interesting game, but I wouldn't call it unique in its subgenre. I would say that Monster Hunter and the soon-to-release Elden Ring Night Rain are good examples of games that are already doing this dungeon run boss fight experience. But maybe the key difference here is that those games I mentioned are much more aligned to action RPGs, whereas Fellowship uses skill cooldown rotations, more akin to an MMORPG. Watching the trailer, I can't help but see so much WoW influence in Fellowship. No announcement date was mentioned, but in the meantime, you can wishlist it on Steam, and they also plan on doing a closed alpha in the near future from February 24th to March 3rd. The concept sounds cool, and I'll more than likely give this a go with my friends. Here's some good news for fans of immersive RPGs. Embracer Group, the parent company of Kingdom Come Deliverance developer Warhorse Studios, is celebrating the success of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And they're taking it as a lesson. Focus on making great games. Huh. No shit. Embracer acknowledged the game's strong performance as a reminder that quality titles resonate with players. They're emphasizing their commitment to supporting studios that prioritize creating compelling and engaging experiences. Basically, they're saying, good games sell well, let's make more of them. The game was released at the start of February and has sold nearly 2 million copies since the publishing of this video, having sold 1 million in its first 24 hours. Developers Warhorse also have big plans for future support for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, with announced DLC and a gold edition of the game. While it seems like common sense, it's refreshing to hear a gaming company acknowledge the importance of quality over just chasing trends to make a quick dime. It's also worth noting that the game has been praised for its good narrative, good graphics, and great performance. A well-polished release, it can totally happen. I covered this topic of buggy day one game releases in another video. I'll link it up here. If you're interested, give it a watch. Hopefully we'll see more well-crafted games from Embracer and its studios in the future. That's it for the big news stories. Let's go into the bonus round where we cover some smaller news segments that I found interesting and I wanted to share with you all. Also, are you enjoying this video? Consider supporting me in the channel by subscribing, and while you're down there, leave a like. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Big news coming out of Warner Brothers Games. It sounds like 2024 was a rough year. Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League wasn't the smash hit they were hoping for, costing them $200 million. And Multiverses added another $100 million, which has recently been shut down. Add in a few other not so great releases, and it's safe to say Warner Brothers is feeling the pressure. Their CEO states the game's business is substantially underperforming, so to help turn the leaky ship around, they are going to rely on their successful IPs, Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, and of course, Batman. But here's the catch. These games are still a ways off. Currently in development, the Wonder Woman game, for example, is reportedly in trouble. Reboots, director changes. It's sounding like a rough dev cycle, which is more than likely costing WB a lot of money and is still years away. Even Rocksteady, the studio behind the Batman Arkham games, is reportedly going back to Batman for a single-player title, but that too is years away. So for the next 2 years, it sounds like we're mostly looking at a Hogwarts Legacy sequel, a Lego game, and some mobile titles. Warner Brothers is trying to refocus, but it sounds like they've got a long road ahead. In some unfortunate news, it appears the success of Marvel Rivals hasn't translated into job security for its developers. Reports indicate that NetEase has laid off the entire US team behind the game. The reasons behind this decision aren't entirely clear, but it's a stark reminder of the volatility of the gaming industry. It just baffles me that such a wildly successful game is already trimming their dev teams, especially during the time a free-to-play game is still forming, considering it's only been out for a couple months as of the recording of this video. I never enjoy reporting on talented game developers losing their jobs, especially after working on a successful title. Let's hope they land on their feet quickly and find new opportunities soon. A new report reveals a decline in support for Xbox Play Anywhere. It seems fewer games are launching with this feature, which lets you play your Xbox games on PC and other devices with all of your save files accessible from any device. Only 7% of Xbox games launched last year supported Play Anywhere, a year-over-year decline. This raises the question about the future of the program. Are developers less interested in it? Is Microsoft pulling back support? The report suggests that developers may not see sufficient value in implementing the feature. It's a worrying trend for those who enjoy the flexibility of Play Anywhere. This is also a big issue for Xbox. Following their recent "This is an Xbox" marketing push, Hopefully, Microsoft can address the concerns of developers and revitalize this feature. Hot rumor here, we might be getting a possible remake of the original Devil May Cry. While nothing's confirmed, leaks online suggest Capcom might be revisiting the game that started it all when it comes to the character action genre. Given the success of recent remakes like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4, it sounds like it could be a worthwhile endeavor. A Devil May Cry remake could bring the classic action game to modern audiences with updated graphics, refined gameplay, and maybe even some expanded story elements. I've never played the Devil May Cry series, but have always been interested in them. Fingers crossed this rumor turns out to be true. So many games are powered by the Unreal Engine, and we are starting to see more games utilizing the latest iteration of it, Unreal Engine 5. Many game studios are also ditching their proprietary in-house game engines in favor of UE5. Unfortunately, there has been an ongoing performance issue commonly called stutter struggle. This term was coined by Alex Battaglia over at Digital Foundry. I'll link their channel below as they create amazing content for those interested in graphics technologies. But yeah, back to stuttering performance in games. I'll try to keep the technical jargon to a minimum, but you've essentially got graphics programs running in real time while you're playing a game, which have gotten more complicated over the years. These commands run in real time under the hood, taking up processing power, which creates stuttering performance issues in your game experience. I'll link the article down below if you want to dive deeper into the tech side of things. This is significant news though. It's great to see that Epic engineers are finally acknowledging this growing problem, and that they are actively working towards fixing it and supporting their partners who utilize their engine for their games. We may see the end of stutter struggle for UE5 games. That's going to do it for this week's news video. If you have any thoughts, opinions that you'd like to share, leave them down in the comments below. Remember to like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe for more great gaming content. Also, consider watching this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.